What's happening, everybody? Check this out. So, this today will be our daily rabbit hole. So far as a little bit of, I don't know. There's a lot of information coming out, so there's things that are going to tie together as the future entails. But this will be. I reported a little bit on this yesterday. First part. It's called Eric, and let's see if I can see here. See, Eric, Electronic Registration Information Center. That's what it stands for. Okay, so what that does is ERIC is designed to keep tabs on all the V rolls for the people in the people picking process throughout the for however long. This and I'll read a little bit about it right quick here. Okay, for decades, the Democrats and leftists have fought ferociously to prevent the cleanup of state voter registration rolls. Recognizing the potential niche, left-wing activists created this thing called ERIC. ERIC is to clean up the V rolls their way, using their rules. So in the 2012 Electronic Registration Information Center, the ERIC was formed as a membership organization primarily for blue states. ERIC is essentially a left-wing V registration drive disguised as a V roll, the V word roll cleanup, but it's been gaining traction in red states as well. Originally founded by Soros, the open society that he is involved in, that he founded, Source of the George, is now responsible for cleaning their V rolls in 31 states plus DC as well. A top selection official from each member state is appointed a seat on the board with ERIC, or as an officer, and these are all unpaid positions, at least on the books anyhow. ERIC located 17 million new V's for the 2020 selection. So in order to it's supposed to clean up the rolls. This thing found 17 million new V words for this past selection, the most in the history of their organization. For comparison, they only found 5.7 million in the 2020 or the 2012 Obama reselection. So I'm getting ready to get to a big bombshell here in a minute. The ERIC database is comprehensive and would be one of the most coveted by bad actors looking to influence certain selections. Member states do not only submit all details on inactive or active V rolls to the ERIC device every 60 days, but they must also provide every individual in their state's motor vehicle department database both licensed and ID recipients. This combo of data is breathtaking, and it's everyone who could generate a legal paper for going to do the V. Okay. It includes the approaching V age, even those here illegally yet issued an ID by their leaning state. This data includes names, addresses, date of birth, license numbers, last four of socials, and V activity, phone, email, title, and other citizenship documentations, and much more. Okay, so ERIC does not just manage lists, they demand action, but it's not the action you would expect, like cleaning the V rolls. ERIC provides each member state a targeted list of people that are not registered to V. The membership bylaws require the state to contact at least 95% of these people within 90 days, soliciting them to register. ERIC also wants specific registration profiles updated and requires the state to contact these Vs within 90 days too. It's essentially a left-wing voter registration drive, all paid for by the states, not the Democratic Party. The membership fee is $25,000, but costs can run into the millions to fund activities in membership dues. Okay, all right. So this thing that Soros set up, it pays for itself and then some. Oddly, ERIC has no requirement or mandate that the member states clean up their V rolls. States are only strongly encouraged to request ERIC's V roll updates at least once a year. If a member fails to make the request in 425 days, the data will be sent automatically to. So in other words, it'll go out automatically. What's even more odd and seemingly corrupt is that ERIC does not want to know who is voting V word illegally. Their rule explains, under no circumstances shall a member transmit any record indicating an individual as a non-citizen or the U.S. as state exhibited A/2B. If Eric hears no evil, they see no evil. Okay. So the thing about it is I'm pretty sure that this has this. Okay. And there's a second part to this. I'll tie into that in a little bit, but this thing is strangely tied back to Hillary Hinton. So.
Thanks. I think there's a fly on your head.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, guys. At least it's not a cicada. I swear, those things are.
Being the fact that the machine that or the app or whatever the what's used to supposed to clean the V-rolls is not doing that. It apparently from the past 4 years in the largest counties of the United States and only removed 0, maybe 2 ineligible V words. And Robert Popper, Judicial Watch Director of the V Integrity effort, said about 10% of Americans move every year, and that's true. People move out of the state, move into state. People pass away. People may catch charges where their voter rights have been suspended until they continue, or until they finish out what their charges are. And in North Carolina, if you're a convicted felon during the time that you're in, if you're on probation or in prison, technically that your voter rights have been revoked for the time being until after all restitution has been paid back to the state or the people that the crime was committed against. So these counties should generate hundreds of thousands of canceled registrations. I mean, and no doubt, for them to only find maybe 1 to 2 or none, it's a little odd. The Gateway Pundit recently published an article about this, and this was a while back, but now this is making a lot of really, really crazy headway because this ties into some of the stuff that was found, and I've got to use my memory on this one. I want to say it was Racine County or Pennsylvania. It was one of the 2 states up that way where they uncovered an app used to to watch the V-rolls take place in live action, and that really was able to made it very convenient for them to do things like algorithms or any kind of necessary treatment, or can go right to the source. And it's they're going to argue it's not illegal. I don't know. We'll just let that ride there. We just know that there's definitely some. None of nobody on our side knew about this. This was all kept secret. It wasn't like lock and key, but it was really repressed from the conservative people. I'll link the articles in my description of what's going on here because it's a lot of reading, and we all know how good I am at that. But what I would like to do is just let everybody know that there's a lot of really cool information getting out there, information that hasn't made the surface the whole time that this has been going on. So it's a good sign that things are in the direction of moving forward, in not, like, in other words, at the worst case scenario, none of our information is getting thwarted, or more stuff is coming out. Nobody's pushing us back. It's not a good description. We're having more and more stuff come out. That's a very true fact. It's in the favor in our direction. Even the ones that were kind of like, there's no way this could happen. Now people are coming to see what it is. The more that they look into this, the more it shows what we're talking about. In other words, that's a really good thing. I mean, there's not been a situation where somebody's looked into something and was like, y'all are wrong. The only people that are saying that are the people on the left, and what they're doing is they're changing the wording. They're not looking at the real numbers. There's a lot of things for the left to be able to lie, and that's what they're having to do. That's called gaslighting. So that's a good thing. We're moving in the right direction, and we're getting more and more people to come to our side. I don't want to say our side because that just sounds like we're trying to rule somebody. We've got more and more people coming to the side of freedom, realization, using that brain of theirs all by themselves and not being told what to do by the norm, or what what they're being told what to do. They don't listen anymore. So it's a good thing. All we got to do is just stick together, and things are going to be absolutely amazing. So thank you very much. I just want to get the word out about this thing called Eric. It needs to be known. So if you want to, I'll link these articles in my description, and check out the Fox and Archibald show. Check out the Romeo Michael show on This Way Network. My channel, William Archibald here, and the Devoted Patriots. Thank you very much, guys in control.